So, lots of things this week. Hello.
So much to talk about.
Yes. Hello and welcome to New York Sofalites.
Yes.
I got my lighting all worked
I didn't
out
take
and
my
stuff.
makeup off. Like, I kept
Rachel
it on
just
because
tricked
I was
us
like,
into putting makeup
video.
on.
No, well, Stephanie said she was not ready for prime time, so I want to be respectful.
Oh,
Well,
okay. You look great. You're fine.
Yeah, well, my husband finally got me a sweatshirt that has his, like, branding on it. And for years, he's like, I want to be anonymous. I don't want people to be like, oh, hey, you work there? And for years, I was like, just get me a sweatshirt. I'll never wear it out of the house. I'll never wear it out of the house.
And then
Now you're wearing
it. I'm like,
I thought it said Binghamton, so you're fine. Well,
it
now
should say
it
Binghamton.
should say Binghamton. Well, I also brought my merch, so
Oh, I know. Rachel's
Love it.
wonderful husband made her a mug already. She has
I
the
want
first
one.
merch
I have the
object.
prototype.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Stay tuned for the merch.
Speaking of prototypes, before we get into White Lotus, which I know is the big deal of the week, the direwolf has been prototyped once
I'm
again.
so excited.
It was already prototyped.
I know, it's a new prototype. So
It's been
a new
reintroduced
iteration.
to the market, I guess. Like,
So-
2.0?
Yeah, Stephanie is the scientist here, so we're gonna have to have her explain what is up with the direwolf.
well, from what I've read, they basically took ancient DNA and used it to create a direwolf of sorts. And
No.
I guess
Hold
most
on.
of its DNA overlaps with gray wolves.
Lilac, stop eating that. Come here. Sorry, she's eating a flower that fell on the floor. Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Flower
I don't know if it's
sprinkles.
Pay
poisonous.
attention to me. Flower sprinkles. Flower sprinkles.
I don't know
from
if
lilac.
they're poisonous or not. She's like, direwolf, who cares?
Dire
It's what-
wolf.
I'm a
I
wolf.
haven't read the
I'm a
paper.
wolf.
I don't really know what happened, but
Lilac,
I
come
do
here.
know that this creature, like I think there were two or three that they.
I saw two puppies on the news. They're Romulus and Remus, which I think is a little on the nose, but okay.
It is. Oh
It
my
is.
God. But yeah, they've gone through like something called a genetic bottleneck, which means the vast majority of, whatever population they had in ancient times, that DNA isn't present in these two or three pups. So they've lost a lot of genetic information. So what it means is if they reproduced, if they had recessive inherited diseases or disorders, they'd be more likely to have those in their offspring or the next generation's offspring.
So what's the
So-
solution then? Do they have to make more from scratch and then have them procreate?
I mean,
Is it just the gene pool is too small with these just two pups?
Yeah, basically their gene pool is too small, but usually it depends on the type of animal, but usually you need a lot more than like a few made in the lab to reconstitute a good gene pool. But I guess we'll see what these scientists have in store.
Well, they said that they were going to be, what did they say? Unextincting woolly mammoths next.
Why?
That sounds like a
But
good
why?
idea.
Yeah, what's the
I
point?
know, dire wolves. Okay, they're cute. Woolly mammoths. Damn, but like,
I mean, I don't know anything about the temperament of a woolly mammoth, but like it seems like
I
a
don't think anyone
big
does.
fuck off
I know.
wolf would also
Yeah.
be relatively unruly.
Yeah, like why are we spending money on this of all things?
Who
Like, I
is
don't
spending
know.
money on this is what I want to know. Like this is
That is a
not-
really good question.
It's like distraction for everything else. They're like, listen, things suck. We're gonna make a new woolly mammoth. Like I don't know what.
I just
We're gonna reintroduce dire wolves. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm all in. When they hit the market, I am going to be first in the queue for a dire
Rachel's
wolf.
gonna have a dire wolf in the backyard with Ruby.
Absolutely. This is my Game of Thrones absolute
I
fantasy.
cannot wait till Ruby meets the dire wolf. And Ruby does this thing where she just jumps straight in the air. And I just can't wait for her to be jumping straight in the air at the dire wolf.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah.
We'll
Oh my
see
God.
who prevails, Ruby the cannonball or a direwolf.
And Lilac will just start flirting with both of them. 'Cause that's what she does. She just sort of like,
She kind of looks a little bit like a wolf. She has
yeah,
like
she
wolfiness
does. She
to
has
her.
wolf. I don't know
Yeah,
if she
she
did
def-
stuff, but yeah.
Like the
She's
goofiest wolf.
The
She's like-
prettiest wolf.
She's like, you have to pet me or I will bark, and I know you're recording things, so that's what she does.
She's like, Mom, I want to talk too.
Yeah, let me talk. Oh, you're gonna sit? Oh my God, you're so polite. Wow.
She's a good
Easier.
girl.
So the dire wolf, let's see.
70s look.
Oh,
Can't believe this isn't going on YouTube. No one will see how cute she is.
Maybe we
Oh my
can put
God.
parts of it on YouTube.
okay. So dire wolves went extinct around 1,200 years ago at the end of the last ice age. They weighed about 150 pounds, so they were twice the size of today's gray wolves. And they preyed on ancient horses, camels, sloths. Yeah, we used to have giant sloths too.
Oh, I love
Oh,
giant
And
sloths.
bison.
Cool.
Did you
Those are
guys
also
know?
extinct.
So when we were kids, do you remember like you would go to the museum and it would be like the giant sloth exhibit and they had just like this one kind of like giant sloth and they were like this, here it is, here's the sloth. We went to the Natural History Museum recently and let me tell you, there have been some advances and now
Oh.
there are like 6 or 8 different like giant sloth-esque skeletons
Whoa.
in exhibit at this museum. Like apparently the research was far from conclusive on the giant sloth and there's like many different kinds of like, and they don't call them giant sloths anymore, so you kind of just have to like use what you remember from like your childhood and the magic school bus to kind of like put it together because now they all have different like species names. We've really come a long way from
Oh,
the
wow.
giant sloths of our youth.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Well, there are those 100-pound. What kind of dogs are those?
Oh,
Mastiffs?
Yeah, 100-pound mastiffs. I guess
I
they're
think
kinda
a
like
lot
that.
of dogs can be 100 pounds. Like a Saint Bernard could be 100 pounds.
Yeah. I know they're like
Yeah.
200-pound mastiff. You ever seen like 200-pound mastiff? Those pictures. of them?
200
They're crazy.
pounds?
Is like
Yeah,
100
look it
pounds
up.
of it hair.
Maybe, possibly. But
I'm Googling those. 200
yeah.
pound mastiff.
I heard like in
don't-
a I heard that somewhere. I'm like, what? But I googled it and it's true. They're giant.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't want a
Oh
dog
my
that
God.
big.
That's what a dire wolf will be.
Well,
Oh
but
my
it's a
God.
wolf. It's a wild animal.
Oh my God, this one is 250 pounds.
Oh my God.
This is like a pony or something.
Yeah, like where would that sit? It doesn't like you can't walk it. Like where does it go?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, and there's a third dire wolf pup who's named Khaleesi. It's a
That's
female.
funny. Oh, that's cute.
So they're definitely thinking Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see in 10 years from now, every like rich family will have a dire wolf.
Oh
They'll
no.
be gifting
And
little
That would
baby
be a
dire wolves to
serious
their
flex
children.
that's gonna
if
be a
you're like-
problem. They're not gonna let them
Yeah.
free when they want to deal with them anymore. And
It's
then
gonna
they're
be
And
like
then
in
there's
the
gonna be
60s when everyone had
packs of dire
tigers.
wolves.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, you're right.
Oh God.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why they got extinct because of us anyway, most likely, because all of the large mammals did pretty much.
Probably
In the
because we probably
Americas.
like hunted all the giant sloths and then they had nothing to eat.
Yeah. Sloths are slow. Yeah.
Oh, they're so slow. They
They're
didn't
slow.
stand
Yeah.
a chance with those
No.
dire wolves.
No.
I know,
That's
they
true.
didn't.
But
This is
oh.
crazy. Well, we're gonna keep tabs on the direwolf situation.
Which, if you could guess like a celebrity that's be the first one to get a direwolf pet, who would it be?
James Franco.
I was gonna say Kid Rock.
Right, yeah. I can see that. James Franco, I feel like he's the type of person that takes on too much, though. So it definitely would get loose, and then he'd get in trouble, you know?
Yeah,
And I
for
feel
sure.
like Kid Rock might, like, really get attached to his and just, like, bring it on a plane. I don't know.
Oh.
You
How
know?
about Bradley Cooper? I could see him with a direwolf because of like the wolf pack and like
I don't know.
I feel like Bradley
Just
Cooper is
like-
like he's vibrating at a very high level, so like his direwolf would be so well
Yeah,
trained.
it'd be like a
I know.
quiet
I feel like
direwolf.
he'd be like the poster child for like the direwolf rights movement. He'd be like, I have a direwolf and it's very well trained and they're just really kind animals, like, you know, people say about their pit bulls and stuff. and then
Then he'll bring it to the dog park and he'll just sit in the corner.
it'll just eat everything.
And sit-
Yeah.
well,
It'll
it'll-
know commands in German and be like the perfect direwolf.
It'll respond to like a thick Philadelphia accent.
Oh my
Like
God. I feel like who else could I see doing that? I don't know. I feel like one of these new pop singers like would do it. Like maybe like Addison Rae would be like, "Oh, I'm a direwolf now," and like
She
would make
might.
it- yeah, make it a
Cindy
thing.
Sweeney is definitely like a candidate
Yeah.
for a direwolf.
Yeah.
See, I feel like who was the girl who played Honora? I feel like I could see her.
She has tiny
like-
dogs. I
But
saw
she has a
picture
lot of dogs.
tiny.
So like
yeah.
She has tiny dogs. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I feel like she's a person of extremes, I feel like. So she's either got the tiny dogs or the dire wolves.
Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. Yeah, but
What do we
interesting.
think about Walter Goggins getting a dire wolf?
Walton Goggins,
Or
I could
Walton,
because
whatever.
he has a great house in Hudson Valley. I know this because I think
I know,
they
I saw
profiled- Yeah,
that.
they profiled him somewhere, right?
And like architectural
Perfect.
something.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Perfect
Oh my
location
God.
for a direwolf. So
perfect location
Yeah,
for a
like,
direwolf. Very
You
close
could just
to Binghamton.
like
Yes.
Monty Python drop like a dire wolf into their photo shoot, and you'd be like,
It
yeah,
would
that
fit
makes
That
sense.
makes sense.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
actually
God.
really like Walton Goggins because I've also watched The Righteous Gemstones, and I think he's great in The Righteous Gemstones.
I knew him from Vice Principals, and he was hilarious
So
in Vice
funny.
Principals. Like,
Yeah.
so funny. And that's the first time I became aware of him.
Yeah.
And
oh my God.
I gotta watch The Righteous Gemstones.
You have
It's
to watch
really good.
Gemstones. It's so
really
funny.
good. You'll like it a lot. The first
Okay.
episode of the first season, I was like, "Oh my God! Like, what is this?" It's just really funny.
I did watch the first one once. Maybe I was alone. Maybe it was during COVID lockdown or something. And I was like, I feel like there's something here, but I just couldn't quite get into
Yeah.
it. Like being like alone in my house. I have to try it
Understood.
again.
Yeah. Understood. But so yeah, Walton.
Walton. I always
Goggins-
want to say Walter, but Walton.
I do too, and then I realize it's Walton, so I have to. But I have to always now I overcorrect. But yeah,
I love him.
So
I've been following
spoiler.
his career since like he was on Sons of Anarchy. Do you remember this? This was in like
no.
oh my God, 2007, 2008.
Okay.
He got his start on Sons of Anarchy, and then he was on Justified, and
Oh.
just
Oh, okay.
an
Okay, cool.
absolute treasure. And
He's
then
great,
he
yeah.
didn't like do
He's so
comedy until like really recently, but I think he should only do comedy.
I know he's so
I've
good.
only seen him in comedic roles, and he's hilarious.
Oh my God, he's just so good.
He's
like,
so funny. Like okay,
He's really funny.
I know we're gonna jump into White Lotus. So I want to say there will be spoilers, but that scene,
I was trying to segue.
Yeah, that scene. Good job. That scene with Sam Rockwell in Bangkok, where you're just staring at him. I was like,
Those memes that are out that
yeah,
are like anyone giving me directions at the end of the day, anyone like trying to teach me the rules to a card game. I'm like, that is so true.
yeah. He's
I'm
just like Sam Rockwell's like, I realized I might want to be an Asian woman, and then he's just staring at him.
I have no idea where this conversation is going. And the look on his face is just
Like that's
so on the nose.
I don't even know if like he was that they could have not shown him at all, and it could have still been a scene that made sense in the scheme of things. But him being there, like reacting like that, made it so much better. You know, it was so good. Like
incredible.
Oh my
It was a
God, yeah.
laugh out loud,
Yeah.
just like cut to reaction. Like,
yeah, I did find myself laughing out loud a lot at this White Lotus. Like I have in the past, but I did laugh a lot in this one too. So
What was it like to watch them all
yeah.
kind of in a row? Because I've been going
Yes.
week by week.
oh
Yes.
yeah.
So I had to watch them all in a row. So I watched like 4 Sunday and 4 yesterday.
Good job.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
impressed.
I was on track. I was like, oh, good. I have an excuse to sit here. It was great. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it definitely. I don't know what the other experience was like, but it definitely felt like, it was very cinematic. It felt like nothing I could see each of them standing alone, but it also made more sense to me as a whole. So I guess I don't know. I think people said it moved slowly, but I didn't feel that way. I actually
Interesting.
felt like it felt at it was a pretty good pace when I watched it all together. So
I felt
yeah.
that with the first episode, I was kind of like, I want more. But then I felt like it picked up after the first episode.
Yeah, I think it definitely like it felt like a slow burn watching it week to week, and also it felt like we were just so inundated with theories that like
Yeah.
it got a little out of hand there. Like there was like a moment where I was like, are the monkeys gonna be the ones with the guns? Like, will someone be shot by a monkey at the end of this season?
I know there were so many shots of monkeys. I was like, what is like somebody really likes monkeys or something's going on or they're just comparing all these people to, they have like really base instincts in some ways and then there's monkeys and speaking of evolution, we're not that far away.
It's true. Yeah, I wasn't married to the theory, but it definitely like passed through my mind.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
definitely did not see the ending coming, and I
Mm.
was like, I was
I
really
didn't
surprised.
either. Last season, I saw it from like 30 miles away. I was like, this is happening, this is happening. This season, and that was the first one I watched with my husband. And so this season he was like, "What's your prediction? What's your prediction?" I was like, I don't really know. And I would speculate, but I didn't guess. But it makes sense in hindsight. Like those last two deaths, I was like, oh,
Well,
she had a feeling something bad was gonna happen, and
That's true.
uh,
She was like telling us the entire time, but we just like loved her so
yeah.
much. We're talking
We
yeah.
just
about
want good things to happen to her.
what
Yeah.
was her
Well,
name? Amy
Chelsea.
Lou Chelsea.
Amy Lou, yeah.
Yeah, we just loved her so much we didn't want to believe it, but she told us like from the very beginning. So
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I wanted Greg to get killed, but
no,
now,
Gary,
or
FKA
Gary,
Greg.
whatever. I don't remember what his original name even was at this point,
It
but
was Greg.
it was
He's
Greg.
FKA
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah.
FKA Greg. So I was like, can we just kill this guy? But no, he's just like the looming menace in the background still.
Is he though a menace, or like did he actually like apart from the Tanya murder, did he actually turn out to be like a kind of okay guy that just has like a weird kink and
I
What was
well,
that a real kink, by the way?
I kind of
I
think
think so because
yes.
the last scene with him, his French Canadian girlfriend is
Oh,
talking to a
yeah.
hot guy and pointing to
Yeah.
him, and so I do think that was a kink for him. It's unclear if it
Okay.
was kind of a newly acquired one or like what the deal was, but
I think he just
Yeah.
was finding himself out there in Thailand and like really, having
yeah,
the
I
freedom
felt
to
like
ask for what he wanted.
he had like parallels to the Sam Rockwell character in that way. Like they were really just like finding themselves in Thailand in just different ways,
I want
I
to think that
guess.
Gary, like, now that he is not stressed out by never being fulfilled sexually, he's finding his way back to being like an okay guy. And he was like
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
earnestly giving Belinda this money because he just
Because he
wanted
felt
to like have
guilty.
his peace.
Yeah, and then Belinda flipped and did exactly what Tanya did.
I know. And it was
I
like, come
did
on.
not see that coming, and I was like, and this
Yeah.
is why Mike White is the GOAT, because like
Mm-hmm.
all of the rest of that stuff I probably could have figured out like given enough time. I It was right in front of my face and I did
I
not see
didn't
it
see that
coming.
coming
And
either.
this is why we bow down to Mike White, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I didn't see it coming.
well, I
I
did
was like,
see the one thing I did see coming was um what was his name? That guy being Rick's dad. Like clearly he's
Oh
a
yeah, we
dad.
all saw that
Yeah,
coming.
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah. Like
one.
why
Yeah,
didn't Rick
that's the
see
main
it?
thing I saw
Yeah, and
coming.
like
I
Rick
mean,
could have.
even like poor Chelsea almost got killed by this guy who like let these poisonous snakes out of their
Yeah,
cages and
I
stuff.
know, yeah.
And
And
like
she's
that was
like,
some major
she's like, you're
foreshadowing,
so
and I was still
silly.
like, yeah, I was still like, I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
Like I just
Like, why did she
Yeah.
like him so much? He was so mean to her the entire trip. He let a snake out and it bit her.
I know.
He kept telling her she was annoying. Like, he did not hang out with her. Like, what is going on? Why was she so into him?
Trauma response? I don't know.
Maybe. She
Someone,
did kind of hint at like a trauma backstory.
yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. And she was just kind of out there. She was, she met him and decided he was the one.
Like, I don't want to believe about Chelsea that she was in it for the money, but I really like Walton Goggins is not that hot.
I think she was just the type of person that was like felt connected to him right away and was like, "Oh, we are
Hopeless
connected."
romantic.
Yeah, like we're it. And she probably read some astrological thing, was like, this is a good connection, but a challenging one, and I can do it. And like that was just like
Yeah.
what she
Okay,
thought.
Yeah.
wait. Let's back up. So she's an Aries and he was
Scorpio.
Oh, he was a Scorpio.
She's like Scorpio, so secretive at one point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, now I don't think that those two
Well,
signs.
Rick said that too. Rick was like, "We're not good signs together," and she was just like looked at him and was like, "Yeah, I don't know." Like,
So she knew a lot about astrology, but she
Yes.
ignored the facts and the signs.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I just think maybe she thought like, I think that happens sometimes. To some people of a certain personality too. Like just you meet someone and you're like, all right, I think that we're supposed to be together, and then you like just go for it as hard as possible. You know,
I guess. And then the other person just kind of goes
rolls
along
with
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then they get you murdered.
like almost murder you
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then actually get you murdered.
It was so
Yeah.
weird when she was like, "That was a very silly thing." That wasn't like what the word she used, but with like the
See, that was
snakes.
definitely the intent. She
Yeah.
was like,
You goof, like I don't know, like
what a goof. I think she said you're insane, which
Yeah.
is true.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like just released a bunch of venomous snakes. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but
So,
she acted like it was so endearing.
yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking if anyone ever did like a tenth of what he did on that particular day to me, I'd be on the next flight home so fast.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely fucking not.
But I say that now. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, and like she was just. I feel like also. I don't know. It's just such a yin and yang thing where like she was almost like he. I don't know what would have happened to him if she wasn't there. Like he would have just been in such a hole, and she
He
was
probably would have died a lot sooner.
like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
without her, right, he was like trying to like impress her. So he was like, let's go stay at the resort and pretend to be on vacation. If it weren't for her, he probably would have booked like the, La Quinta down the street and just like
Yeah.
come to the property and shot the guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true.
So
He wouldn't
really,
care.
he got to at least, kind of reach for spiritual awakening. Because like at the end there, he did he wanted to speak to Amarita. Was that his?
Oh yeah, his
The Indian
guide.
woman, and
Yeah.
like she didn't have time, and like if she had just taken the time to sit down and talk to him, he probably would have been okay.
Yeah.
So at least he was trying. He was like, he didn't quite get there, but he was reaching for spiritual enlightenment.
Maybe a next lifetime.
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Well,
right.
they are gonna be together forever, she said. And when he said that at the end, she was like so happy. I'm like, at least he got that, Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least
I think if
she
she
gave
had
him that.
known the way that everything, the way that the ripples kind of dispersed and the way that Saxon's life appears to have like really been changed and like he appears to have really been put on the path to spiritual enlightenment, she would have been satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably would have preferred to live, but if that's
Yeah.
off the table, I'm sure she would have been satisfied that Saxon really was reading those books and trying to
Oh,
become
yeah.
enlightened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the other thing is everyone was almost like caricatures of themselves when they first showed up, and then there was a lot of gray areas at the end. But yeah, we do have to talk about Parker Posey too, who was the biggest caricature probably.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Her arc it was so subtle. Like, from the beginning where she was the caricature, where she was like, completely lorazepam, like dazed.
Lorazepam. Yeah.
Tim, my lorazepam. But then,
It's
like,
not addictive. Like, yeah.
it is. It's very
It's very
addictive.
Actually, it is.
Yes, yeah. You just take it.
We are probably three of the biggest living
People
experts on
who
lorazepam.
know. Yeah. We know a lot about lorazepam.
We know
Yeah.
a lot about it,
Yeah.
and I can tell you it is 100% addictive.
It is 100% addictive. And also, like, I don't know that Tim ramping up and, like, being on lorazepam 24 hours a day would really have worked for him. Like, he would have been in a coma.
Yeah, I mean, I also
People
just
do
felt
that,
like
though.
he was blowing through that lorazepam prescription really fast, and I just felt like I don't think he would have had any left by the last episode. He would have run out in episode like 2 or 3.
Right? Because
Maybe
they were,
3.
well, they were only there for a week. So it depends
Yeah.
on if it was a full bottle when they got there, and then let's say.
Yeah, but then he's just like popping it like Skittles. I feel like, and he's a bigger guy. I feel like he could probably ingest more and have less of an effect.
Right.
I don't know. I felt like that was not the only, but that was an unrealistic point to me. I was like,
Yeah. Well, and I also just
the way
thought,
he's popping those pills, he wouldn't have any left.
yeah, maybe, but he did seem pretty conked out all the time. I don't know.
That's true. So he wasn't taking the pills while he was taking his lorazepam naps.
Yeah.
True.
But he took a lot of lorazepam naps.
And I mean, his wife had some at the beginning, and then he started mooching, and then he just stole it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I did
thought
like
it-
that she did not like freak out.
Yeah.
She didn't have
I
like
was impressed.
Yeah.
I was like,
Withdrawal,
girl,
like-
She would have been going through withdrawal
in real life.
Yeah,
Like,
in real life. She
she'd
would have
be
been on the
having
ground.
yeah.
withdrawal, like rebound anxiety, tremors, maybe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she was like, I'll just switch to alcohol. And
She's
in
like, "To
real
drink
life,
myself
that
to
also
sleep."
doesn't work.
Nope.
So-
Don't try that at home, guys.
Don't
No.
try
No.
that at home.
But yeah,
can,
I did
Don't
think
try
it
it
was
at
funny.
home. Don't try it in Thailand.
don't try it anywhere.
I thought it was funny how the kids were like, "Should I wait till I get home when mom has her prescription to talk to her about staying in Thailand over this?" I thought that
like,
she's
Her coming off the lorazepam, like, she really played it really, like, slowly becoming more sober and like more irritable, and then like very with it at the end, like, and just like quick fuse. Like, Tim, what are you talking about? There are bottles of wine right behind you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you ever heard of wine? Yeah.
She's like, "You want to live in Taiwan?" And yeah. Taiwan. She's like, Hyper's like, "What? We're in Thailand."
But she was smart because she was like, I took a look around and I think you should spend the night. And
That was smart. Yeah.
Because she
That's
wasn't
what-
on the lorazepam. She like had
Yeah.
her wits about her, and she
Yeah.
knew what to do.
she was like, yeah, you go, you spend the night, have a good time. And then Piper was all like, the food wasn't organic.
Oh
I
my
love the
God.
way she said that. She's like, you could like tell it wasn't organic.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that I have heard so many Debbies say exactly in that way in my life.
I cannot tell. I guess I don't have a refined palate, but
Well, and that was supermarket food. I can't tell.
yeah.
I don't think I would be able to tell in Asia, It's
No.
like everything is different over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
And
she's
also,
just
like, who's to say it isn't organic? Although I guess
Yeah.
they have some, like, pretty suspicious, like, food stuff practices
Oh,
going on
really?
in Asia right
Yeah.
now. I don't. My mother-in-law just got home and she started talking
That's
about
weird.
how you can't trust the fish from the market because it has formaldehyde in it, and like
Oh, no.
that's in the Philippines, but it could.
I was
be,
going to say here.
No, oh my
Wouldn't be
God.
shocked.
could be an
Could
issue in
happen.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so they all went home, right? All three kids went home
Yeah, I was
despite.
shocked that Lachlan was alive. I really thought he was dead.
Yeah, I have some questions
Yeah.
about how lethal this like fruit pod actually was.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I get that, it had been sitting in alcohol all night. So, like, maybe
Yeah.
that kind of like took some of the
I guess
took
it
some of
wasn't
the
that
poison out of it,
much.
but
Yeah.
and it wasn't that much. And then he like mixed it with water and like
Yeah, he
I
Protein
don't
didn't even
know.
powder.
rinse out the
Yeah, who doesn't
thing.
rinse out? That's such like a
People
teenage
that
boy
don't
thing
have
to.
to.
Yeah, such a teenage boy that like doesn't like know how to do his own dishes. That
Oh
someone
my
else always does
God.
his dishes. He's like, I don't want to deal with this. Yeah.
To
I
like
was
look at it and smell it and be like
Yeah.
visibly
Okay.
grossed out by the smell
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
use the dirty blender
I know.
anyway
That's
without even
weird.
a swish and
Just like
rinse.
rinse
Like,
it. Like it's not that hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just rinse it. Just
Yeah.
rinse it.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah,
also,
I was shocked he survived.
if you're just making your protein shake with protein and water, you don't need a blender. You can just put it in a bottle and
Yeah,
shake.
what else was he putting in there? It was so weird.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't put
So
like some
weird.
fruit in it or even some ice. Like he didn't
Yeah.
really need to employ the blender at all.
Yeah. Saxon was kind of a weirdo though. So
They
who
were
knows?
both just
They're all
such
kind of weirdos.
little weirdos. I
Oh my
really
God.
had such great affection for Saxon by the end. Like at first I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, this
This
I know
guy.
he was
Yeah.
insufferable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this guy.
Yeah. Oh, he does have
Yeah.
limits and he does have feelings and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely weirded out by the incest situation. I mean, I guess in a I mean, he was kind of assaulted by his brother, right? Like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
Yeah. And his brother was just like, "Oh, I'm a people pleaser."
I hadn't
It
even
looks
thought of it in
like
terms I
yeah.
mean, why hadn't I thought of it in terms of assault? I just thought like, ew. But like,
Yeah. I mean
I guess
either.
like
yeah, he
neither of
didn't
them were in
consent.
yeah, but they were both on MDMA, right? So like neither of
Yeah.
them could really consent. But
Yeah.
still 100% that was an assault.
Yeah. Yeah. And his brother
And he was so disturbed by it. He actually read that book.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
So disturbed
he
that he
like
read
hit
the
rock. We watched him hit rock
Yeah.
bottom,
And
and
Lachlan was like obviously like a little like shaken, but he wasn't that disturbed, I don't think. He was
I
like,
know.
I'm gonna go to the monastery, I guess. But he was just like, no, I'm a people
He's like, I
pleaser.
know I should feel weird about this, but I don't.
Yeah, he's
He
like,
was.
You're, and I think I read somewhere, Patrick, I didn't read much about it, but about the show in general, but I think Patrick Schwarzenegger was saying how, like, yeah, like the mom made them feel so much better than everyone else that it's like no one in, like, the family just kind of incestuous, like, there's no one that's like meets their standards, so
Mm,
that's
that's a
kind of like,
good insight.
yeah, but, so it didn't feel that weird or something, I don't know, but,
That is good insight. I didn't think about it that way.
yeah,
I guess because I don't have that kind of family and I don't have any siblings, but like
yeah,
I think that there is something about that like there are a lot of families that are like a little bit too close
Mhm.
and like kind of in a righteous gemstones kind of way. Like
yeah,
they're a club and they're the only people who are able to like bring up each other's self-esteem in that way and like really like cheer each other on in that way. I think
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting insight because yeah, I feel like, but I also liked some of the mom's points. She was like, well, just because they're rich doesn't mean they're not trash, like decent people. And I was like, well, she has a point. She has a
she
point.
definitely has a point. She had a lot of good points.
Yeah, but she also like yeah, definitely messed her kids up. But she had a lot of good points. Yeah.
yeah, but,
I mean, did she mess them up or did she just like, she loved
I mean, they
them
have
the only
another
way she
parent
knew
too,
how?
so I mean,
Yeah.
I can't put all the blame on her if they're messed up.
Yeah, she definitely felt like a relic. Like she felt like someone from 50 years ago and just felt like she was repeating whatever her mom had kind of said to her. And it was also very weird how Saxon would just say these gross sexual things and they'll just be like, oh, so funny. Like they just feel like, yeah. They're like, you
It's like
silly.
this is how it starts. This
yeah,
is so weird.
yeah.
Like, ew.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it was like, And so it was like kind of a wonder that like Lachlan wasn't confused that because everyone's just like, oh, this is normal.
Oh yeah, at the beginning he was
Yeah.
talking about his sister
Yeah,
being
like
a
your
virgin
sister
or
is hot,
something.
but she's still a
Like she's
virgin.
hot, but yeah, it was very creepy.
Yeah, he was like, I'm sure you've noticed she's hot, but she's probably never had sex before. Like, yeah, it was just like,
I'm sure you've noticed.
yeah.
I'm sure it's so
Yeah.
weird. They were, yeah. But honestly, by the end, like, and this is, I think, where Mike White really shines is like coming into the finale, I was like, I don't really care who dies, but I am so emotionally attached to each and every one of these characters except for Mook. Mook
What
is
was
a
up with that?
disaster.
Oh my god, I really was attached. I would be really sad if Gaitok had died. Gaitok.
I was very attached
Yeah.
to Gaitok, and
Yeah.
I still am,
And I'm
think.
sad that he took the route he did. Like it was antithetical to what he wanted, and he almost got out like right before that all happened. And his boss was like, "No."
and for
And-
Mook,
know.
who
Yeah.
sucks.
Mook sucks. She's just pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa from Blackpink, right?
Yeah, I mean, she
Yeah.
did a great job.
She
I
did.
think that she was kind of the least well served by the script. Like,
Oh,
I
it was
didn't
like a
think that.
one-dimensional character for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like her
yeah.
personality was like, oh, I like you when you were ambitious, and then if you're
Yeah.
not ambitious, I will frown at you.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
So-
shoot someone and I'll smile again. Yeah.
God. Yeah.
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 I was
But-
prepared to be okay to lose Mook and have that be like Gaitak's like superhero origin story. Like if we had to fridge
Oh.
Mook to get Super Gaitak, I was okay with that. And
I
I still
really-
think
yeah.
that they could do that down the line, and I would still be okay with
Yeah.
it.
I didn't think Mook was me important enough to die, but I do see that if it was like an origin story for Gaitak, I could see how that would happen. Yeah. But
Yeah.
And what did you guys think of the three friends that everyone was talking about?
Oh my god, it was so real. It was too real.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. Like the scene where like Kate, I think Leslie Bibb was just sitting on the other side of the pool, like, guys, let's just like wrap up and go to sleep. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I've been
Yeah.
that person. Like, in
I know.
college.
I was like that whole scene. I was like, oh my god, I used to be those girls, and now I'm that girl. And like,
Like you used
I don't
to
know.
be
who
a
I'm
Lori,
mad
and
at
now you're a
most.
Kate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. It was interesting. Yeah, I felt like there could have been a little more done with. I like the last monologue from what's her name?
Yeah, Carrie.
Yeah.
Carrie.
Mhm.
I thought that was nice. People were talking about it, but I felt like more could have been done with it. I felt like they tried to button up that storyline a
Yeah.
little quickly. Um
I think that it was just so like that really could have been a big moment almost in the show, but it was so overshadowed by everything around it. It was almost like squeezed out. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought Lori was very insightful at the end there. But yeah, Carrie Coon's great.
I
Um,
felt bad for her though the entire time because
Yeah.
even though
I
she gave
know.
that like monologue and she was like, I'm just happy to be here, and then her friends were just like, yep. And they
Yeah, they were like, love you. Love you.
they didn't
Yeah.
want to like say anything nice or
Yeah,
affirming
yeah.
about her choices.
I know.
Like,
And
I know.
it was
Yeah.
it was like a
Yeah.
continuation of the
The weird dynamic. Yeah.
Of like the first
Shit
scene
talking,
where like they
yeah.
were like, and your daughter is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, no one had
That was
anything
so-
actually nice to say about Lori.
That was
and
awful. Yeah, they're like, you look amazing. No, you look amazing. And then Lori was like,
She's like,
what about me?
What about me?
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
You both
yeah.
look amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I think Leslie Bibb's Botox injectionist like is probably the best out of the three of them.
Mhm.
Incredible. Although I think
I mean,
Michelle
they all
Monaghan
look great.
looks.
They all look great.
I actually watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang the other night, as just like a Val Kilmer tribute. And Michelle Monaghan looks shockingly similar to the way that she did 15 years ago. So
Wow.
I saw her at a house show once.
Oh.
Like a year or two ago. Yeah, and she looked like her. Like she looked the same.
Was she buying the house, or were you buying the house?
No. My friend was looking for houses, and it wasn't really like in their range or in their location, but their realtor would send them ones that were like, if you want to check this out, if it's like, because she knew she was an architect and was like, this is might be interesting to see. And so we went up to see it, and it looked like maybe she was there to be like, maybe she's like a neighbor and like wanted to check it out. Like they weren't like, it was like her and her husband or something, but it was in the hills or Beechwood Canyon or something. But yeah, it was a small house for like 1.6 million or something. It was like crazy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. I also felt so bad with when Lori decided to go like hoe it up at the fight or
And then
whatever,
she's like,
and then
"Can I have
immediately the
10K
guy
dollars?"
is like,
Can I have
"You have
$10,000?
Venmo, Zelle?" Like,
Yeah.
That was
come
so
on.
funny.
Poor
But
Lori.
also,
She's like,
like,
what? Like,
She took it really well.
yeah,
She
she
was
I think
did.
she did too. She bounced right back. I was
Yeah,
like,
she's like,
damn.
no.
No.
Yeah.
She ran, like, jumped out the window. I was like, good for you.
Impressed. Yeah.
He's like,
Honestly,
we'll talk
she's,
later.
Yeah,
she's real spry.
Yeah, she is. She ran so fast when that gun went off.
With that Russian girlfriend, like, swatting at her head.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Awkward.
The Russian
also-
girlfriends were my favorite. Like,
Yeah, they were really funny.
at every
Jacqueline-
turn.
Yeah,
like,
Jacqueline was just trying to show them up, and it was really funny.
oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that they ditched those guys eventually.
Yes.
But like really the only one, like I couldn't believe like he was the only one like asking for cash, because at one point I thought they'd all try to rob them. Like the
Yeah.
Russian guys were gonna just straight up try to rob the rich white American ladies.
I did
They-
too. I thought that
I
they were
mean-
gonna, like, it seemed when they were at that like club scene, it seemed like the Russians had like maybe drugged their shots.
Yeah.
But then maybe
I thought it was gonna get dark there for
Yeah.
a minute, and I was like, oh God.
Kate was so funny. She's like,
It's
that
already
poor
been dark
Vlad
enough.
has had such a hard life, like the blonde, like bald guy. That was so funny. I
my
thought they were
God.
great. And I did like really relate to them as like friends that had been friends for a long time that like I don't know if that's true for us because I feel like we still vibe on lots of the same things, but I do have friends
Yeah.
that
Like
I've
like
had
you've
friends-
grown apart.
Yeah, and you're like they're so different in a lot of ways now where like you're like they can't like the two of them are ready to party together, but it's like this guy has this really sad story, you know.
well, especially in a group of three. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it's a group of three friends is a disaster waiting to happen because as soon as one of
Yeah.
them leaves the table, the other
Yeah.
two have to like, you know, be
like,
gossiping behind
yeah.
their back. Like, there's just really not
Yeah.
another option.
Yeah.
they say three is a crowd, right?
Yeah.
With I feel
Yeah.
like with friendships. Especially in like Thailand, there's not much else. I mean, I just
on
feel
a
like
trip.
when you're on a trip, like
An enclosed space. yeah.
everyone's like idiosyncrasies come out with traveling anyway. Like everybody has like a little bit of like a weird, travel self, and then y'all get there, and I would imagine there'd be a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you're all catching up and stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, I didn't judge them too hard for being catty, but because I
No.
mean,
I mean, who
we've
among
all
us?
been there, but yeah.
yeah. But it was really interesting. There were some like really nice realistic moments and I thought that was like a good addition. I just felt also what was I gonna say? I forget. I lost it.
I did feel like the image of their friendship was largely negative, though. And
Yeah.
I feel like there could have been a little more positivity, because I feel like,
They skated over
That's
the positive
realistic.
parts. Like they like the positive parts were like a montage basically, and like you didn't really see that.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
life. Like there's ups and downs and stuff. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they've really focused on the bitchiness. But
Yeah, it did seem like they did not have a good time on that trip really at all until that final night. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
even the big party night, like I guess maybe they had a better time than we did watching it because we were like watching the train crash in slow motion.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But it did
Yeah.
feel like Jacqueline's like only goal was like show up to the girlfriend, and Lori was just like finally letting loose a little bit, which is nice. And then Kate was like just kind of holding it, clutching her purse and her pearls and stuff. Like,
She
yeah.
brought so many pairs of jammies to
I
Thailand.
know. I know.
I was impressed. Like they all looked so good, and I was like, I aspire to travel with that many pairs of pajamas and
I
be that
don't. I
comfy.
It's
just
an
want a shirt.
insane
I
pair of
do.
pajamas to bring to Thailand. Like the coffee cup pajama, or whatever pajamas
Yeah.
she was wearing, like at the pool that night. I was
Yeah.
like, you would be dying.
Yeah.
It's so hot in
Yeah.
Thailand. Like you can't
Yeah,
have long pants.
I thought
Yeah.
of that too. I was like, this is so unrealistic, but it's cute. So
Yeah. It's the
whatever.
jammies. Rachel. I like the jammies, yeah.
I love jammies. I love
Also,
matching
I just
jammies.
hate on TV how everyone's in like a freaking silk. I mean, especially in this TV show, but everyone's always in like a silk or like nightgown. Like, I don't know people who wear them. Maybe people do, but I don't know many people who wear them. Stephanie might wear them. I don't know. But the way that your face went.
I have definitely traveled with people who wear jammies every night.
No, but like the silk nightgown. Do they
maybe
do
not a
that?
silk. I mean, I guess maybe if they're Jacqueline Lemon and they like,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think
Yeah.
Chelsea had one on at one point, and
Well,
then
Chelsea had one on because they were on like, like a couple trip. Like you bring your
Yeah, I
cute
guess
silk
so.
nightie
Yeah,
for
yeah.
when
With
your
the
man brings you to
girlfriends,
Thailand.
yeah. With the
Yeah.
girlfriends, I felt like it was more like a competition.
Mm,
Like they knew Jacqueline was gonna have cute like merch that was sent to her by companies for free, and they were other like they were women that were well to do anyway. So I felt like they were gonna have a fashion show for each other.
yeah, maybe. But I was more like, and I think Lori just had like a t-shirt on. Like that's all I do. I don't know. Even when I'm like out with friends, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll bring a pair of pants so they don't feel uncomfortable. Like what earlier is shorts, like so that I can sleep and that they won't feel uncomfortable. That's like my way of sleeping. I don't know. I guess I'm not. I do have like one pair of cute
A
pajamas.
sleep shirt, okay.
Yeah, sleep shirt.
Yeah, I like a
But-
sleep shirt, but
Yeah.
I guess if I were traveling, I mean, I'm trying to think of when we traveled for your bachelorette. I don't think any of us, I think I just wore like yoga pants to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember because I blacked out both nights, so
But I also think
I
like
don't remember.
with Chelsea, I was surprised that she was. I mean, this is like a moot point. We don't need to harp on it, but she said that they were just like traveling all over for months, basically. So like they said like her clothes, a lot of them would be
Yeah.
like collected. Like the way they designed her costumes were like things that she would have grabbed like at a market and stuff. And
But that's like
Mhm.
absolutely not true because we know about the things that were in her wardrobe that were like extremely
Yeah.
pricey.
Mhm.
Like
yeah,
she had a lot of like J.W. Anderson and
Mhm.
like many, you know.
not realistic because even if as if they met while they were traveling, where do they even get that stuff mailed? I guess they can get stuff.
I don't think that they
somewhere, I
met
don't
while they were traveling because didn't it? They
Oh.
said that they met like maybe 3 years prior to this trip,
know. Oh,
but that they
I
had
don't
been
know.
traveling together.
oh,
Well, if he
Okay.
has money, I mean, you can find malls and
no, for sure.
stuff pretty much
I
anywhere.
just can't imagine him like shopping with her, but I guess he did
I can
everything.
imagine him just like handing over his credit card to get some like
Yeah.
alone time or whatever.
Yeah. Here, take
And
this. Yeah.
like, or like he says something that's kind of nasty, feels bad, buys her an I'm sorry gift,
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't
He
seem
was-
like an I'm sorry gift kind of guy. He seems like she
You're-
decides when the I'm sorry gift comes
Yeah,
and
she's
like
like,
takes
Well,
bought this
care
for
of
that's
it
what
herself.
Yeah.
that's kind of what I meant. Because like,
He's so.
but it would be
mopey.
like funded by him because he felt like a little guilty, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
I hope that they had a good time in their relationship before the end there.
It seemed
Yeah,
like
we
he was
know
happy.
almost nothing about him and his backstory besides his dad or the story
Well, we
he's
don't
been
know anything
told.
about her either.
We know
Well,
nothing
yeah,
about
like we
her.
really just don't, and they're just these two complete oddballs that seem to be like tolerating each other, her more happily, but yeah, I wanted to know more. Like, how did these two weirdos end up together?
Yeah.
Because you can see the Greg and the, his girlfriend, you can see that thing. Like, she was probably an escort, fine. And you can see, like, pretty much all of the other relationships, right? Like, how they wound up as friends or together, or there's, like, the family. And like that, I felt like they were just kind of thrown in there.
Yeah.
I don't mean in like
That's
a
true.
bad way. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess like I was okay not knowing, but also yeah, it didn't their relationship didn't always make a lot of sense to me.
I was dying to know. I was like, how'd you guys like meet? Like, what was your previous life? Like, I kept waiting for him to say he like had kids or something. And no, he was just squarely focused on avenging his father's death, or so he thought. And she was squarely focused on him. Like,
Yeah. Really tragic.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But
Like, she could have been a cruise ship dancer or something. Like, we don't know.
We truly do not know.
I really wish I knew. I don't know why. I'm so curious.
It was interesting. Like they definitely like seemed to have a lot of money. Like they seemed to have been traveling really well, but then in that first episode when like the waiter like asked her to taste the wine, she didn't seem to know what was going on and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
You're wearing like a
Some it's like,
$6,000 outfit, but no one has ever asked you to taste wine
Yeah.
before.
well, maybe he usually did it. She wasn't used to being the
no,
one
that's why
who.
I think they're usually like slumming it. Because when we got there, she was like, "Oh, we're really splurging on this one." I think that
Oh, yeah,
usually,
she did say
I
that.
think usually I think she to me seems like the type that's like a wandering traveler type or like
Mhm.
wandering whatever. And
Travel influencer.
yeah, there you go. And they met somehow, and I think that they might have money, like they might have money, but they didn't spend it on accommodations or restaurants, really, you know. But also, I'm not sure like we were meant to know how expensive our outfits were, even though
I
it
think we
seems
were.
pretty
I mean,
obvious.
everyone,
Yeah.
well, maybe because like everyone's clothes were pretty expensive, including Belinda's, which I'm sure
Yeah,
that like
I
that
saw that.
character wasn't
That's
meant to
not
be wearing like a
realistic. Yeah.
$1,200 moo but
No.
I
sorry,
don't know
not
why
a
they
moo
do
No.
What's
that. I
it
don't know why they
called?
do
A
that.
caftan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A $1,200 caftan.
Yeah. She didn't
Yeah.
make that kind of money.
There was a lot of
No.
good caftan work going on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah. I'm not in my caftan era yet, but when I am, the show will be inspiration.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
I also.
Madeline brought home so many caftans from
Oh,
the
really?
Philippines.
Have you
Really?
tried anything on? Do you like them?
I mean, I'm not totally ready to be in my caftan era, but I don't want to be rude, so I obviously like I have several of them and I don't wear them that much, but they're very nice. They're all like made out of pineapple fibers, so they're quite light
Oh,
and in the summertime when it's really hot, they are really nice like for bed.
that sounds nice. That sounds nice.
That does sound
Oh,
really
by the way,
nice.
I don't always wear like proper jammies to bed that match, but when I
I feel
do,
like
I feel really good.
you
And
usually
I do more often than not
I
these
just feel
days, which
like
is weird.
guilty. No, I feel like guilty for messing them up. I feel like I'm doing something wrong to them. Like I'm making them
No, you
wrinkly.
gotta just like, you just gotta tear the band-aid off and be like, I have one life to live, and I like nice
Oh, I
jammies.
just want like a
I
really
just accepted
I just
that.
want like the softest cotton shirt possible. That's what I want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see both sides. I feel like
Yeah.
it depends on the night, but I like both.
Yeah, I do too. And sometimes I get really cold at night and I
Mm.
need layers, and a t-shirt just isn't gonna cut it.
No, I cannot sleep in pants. They drive
Ever,
me
even
nuts.
when it's cold?
No, they drive me nuts. Once in a while, if it's really
They drive you
cold,
nuts?
yeah, like it's really cold. Like one year when I came home for Christmas, like the heat was out for a while, and I slept in really loose pants. Um, but no, yeah,
No, no
I'll have like
pants to bed.
I'll just have extra blankets, but like I can wear shorts sometimes, but like no pants. Yeah,
That
I
is
can't.
wild.
I
I
know.
routinely sleep in sweatpants and socks and a sweatshirt
No,
Same.
because
I
it
get
is
no,
so
cold.
cold.
I
no,
layer up.
no. I just like to have a lot of blankets.
I also
I
like to have a lot of
Yeah,
blankets,
I also
yeah,
like that, yeah.
but I
yeah.
also like to have one of my feet out of the
Oh
blanket.
yeah, definitely. You guys need to have like
Yeah,
one.
I like having, yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I like having one leg out.
But
Maybe I
yeah,
run
Why? I
hot.
don't
I don't know.
know.
Maybe I run hot. I don't know, but just like I it needs to be cold at night, but I need to have blankets. Obviously, if it's hot outside, I won't like crank the AC just to sleep. But like, I'm not Piper. Um, but yeah, I
Well,
can't
I had a
sleep.
hard time distinguishing between her like day clothes,
Yeah,
like her
and her
clothes and
like
her
nightgowns.
pajamas.
She had a
Well,
lot of prairie dresses, though, stuff that really reminded me
Yeah.
of like your Hill House wardrobe.
yeah, yeah. That first
I
dress was
noticed that.
confusing. That first dress was like a full sack, but like the rest of
Full
them, I was
set.
like, well, it was the first dress. Like I don't remember. Like it was just like so shapeless, and it was a little odd. But the rest of them had like a little bit more like flair or cute things about it. But that first
Yeah.
one was just like a literally 1800s nightgown. Like her mom
Yeah.
wore one later, like to bed, that was like a little bit more frilly like it. But
I
and
loved
then,
that. I love
yeah.
a 19th century nightgown.
Me
I,
too.
you know what? Yeah, like I don't. I wish I did. I
Well, of
don't.
course you don't, because I do.
You're
But
silly.
I got one on sale at the end of last summer, and I can't wait to wear it. It's
That
long sleeved.
you do know that I don't make all my
But
decisions.
it's from the UK, and it's got like hand smocking, so like all of the it's like a dying art,
I
people
thought you were
don't do
saving
smocking
up for my
anymore.
birthday present. You told me you were saving up for my birthday present.
Well, I got this last year on sale at the
Okay.
end of the
Okay.
season
Okay. Sure.
when I wasn't supposed to be spending
Sure.
money.
Got it. Got it. She's like texting me. She's like, "What do you want for your birthday? I need to save something up for you." I'm like, "What do you think you're
Well, I need
buying
to
for
bu-
me?"
I'm
Like,
being
not
better.
like,
I'm being
like,
like intentional with my money and like trying to get out of credit card debt. So,
So,
yeah.
only one hand smocked 19th century nightgown annually
Yeah.
is allotted in the budget.
Oh, so you're saying I can get another one this year because my first one was last year.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, I was like, wait, you just come to LA and like buy like a really nice purse and pair of shoes, and then you're like, what do you want for your
Yeah.
birthday? I need to save up for it. Like, what do
I
you
didn't
think
buy shoes.
what do you think I'm asking for my birthday? Like anything over $40?
You always
No.
have like a list though. You're like, if
No,
anyone wants my birthday
no.
list,
Yeah, because
like
you
I have
decide
one.
you take one from the list. You don't get everything from the list. It's supposed to be partially surprised. That's what we do in our family. You like send a list
Well,
out and then you surprise, or you get something that fits in the list. Yeah.
I love a
Gretchen,
partial surprise.
let me be excited about trying to get in, financial shape and plan ahead for once in my
I am
life.
supportive. It just was funny. Like
Usually you're mad because I haven't asked you what you wanted
that's
for your
not
birthday
true. I
yet.
never know what I want for my birthday. I never know
Yeah,
what
but
I
it's
want.
always like implied. And I always feel guilty because my gift
I
is
think
always
it's
late,
more like
but
you feel that guilt. I don't care. It's okay.
that's not true.
I don't need
But
more
it's
stuff.
okay.
I told you if you
I
wanted
know,
to
I've
get
been to your apartment.
rude. I told you if you wanted to get me anything, you could buy me a day of daycare for Lilac. That's what I said.
You
Remember?
said that?
Yes.
That's a good
That
gift.
when you visited. When you visited. I said that.
Oh, I didn't equate that with
You
your
weren't
birthday,
paying
but that's a good
attention.
idea.
Yeah, like I don't need stuff. What?
Okay.
You know who needs stuff though is Victoria Ratliff, and she is going to be like,
She's
what
not
do
gonna
we
have
think
any
is going to
stuff.
happen when they get home? Like, are we
I don't
looking at
know.
like Schitt's Creek, or are we looking at like how are these people
Arrested
going to handle
Development. Yeah.
the situation when they return
Yeah, what are
to
we
North Carolina?
um
Like, is anybody going to Duke?
I think that Victoria probably will leave her husband. She might not divorce him, but she might move back in with family, or maybe she'll find a new rich husband. I don't know.
well,
Oh,
she'll leave him
okay.
until she finds a new
Yeah.
wealthy husband.
Yeah.
So you think that it's
Um,
a divorce?
I
I
mean, women
think
just can't go back in lifestyle very easily,
well,
so
she straight up said I'm not meant to live an uncomfortable life. So
yeah.
And
I
of
think
I
course,
mean,
he had
she
so much hubris. He was like, "Oh, so I'm gonna do you the kindness of
of
killing
killing.
you
That's
rather
what
than you divorcing me and find another
yeah.
man who
That's what
can keep
family
you in this
annihilators do.
lifestyle."
Yeah, that's what family annihilators do though. They're like, "Oh, I need to save you from this embarrassment or this like life." Except for Lachlan because he said he'd be fine. Like weird, but
And also,
whatever.
like, that's why I thought he was going to die. I was like,
Yeah, like he's the
because
one. Yeah,
yeah.
he's the
he's
one
the
that's
one who
like
would be fine.
Yeah.
But who knows, honestly, if that's really true, because he's also pretty spoiled and
Yeah.
helpless. He doesn't know how to wash a blender, so
He's so helpless.
Yeah. He might be able to figure it out, but he's not gonna like hit the ground running by any means. He's gonna be
Yeah, he's never had a job
he's the type
before.
that's like never folded his laundry or done his laundry, you know. So
no.
Yeah.
So do we think
Which
he's going to
is
go to work for his new stepdad when Victoria finds her next rich man?
maybe,
I think he's not going to major in finance in college.
we'll probably
And
major in something like
he
like
might have to go
religion.
to a community college for a couple of years because if his grades,
Devastating.
I know, but if his grades aren't like great and he can't get a scholarship,
I think his grades are good though. They said that he was choosing between what? Between
Chapel
Duke and
Hill.
UNC? Oh, between Chapel Hill and Duke.
Yeah.
yeah, so he'd need financial aid for sure. So either he gets financial aid or he goes to a community college for a couple years and he doesn't major in finance and he becomes, I don't know, like he probably moves to Brooklyn with his stepdad's money.
Well, what will
He starts a
Saxon
band.
do? What will
He
Saxon
starts a
do?
band. Yeah.
Do you think Saxon's gonna come back next
Saxon
year to the meditation center? He might go
Saxon's like teetering on the edge. He's either gonna go hard in one direction or the other.
I was
I
hoping he would
think
stay in Thailand and like
Yeah.
stay at the meditation center.
I think he might return. I'm not against that idea.
I
see
think
him,
Saxon
yeah.
might have like a meaningful romantic relationship in the next 2 to 5 years. And he's still gonna work in finance though
I think
for
he's
a
gonna
little
like
while.
if
Because he's not
he
gonna know what else to do.
well, if he's not implicated in like the money laundering,
Yeah, that's true.
he might
Will
True.
he might be
Yeah.
looking at some community service.
Mm,
True. He might have to return to Thailand, in other words. That might be the only place he can afford to live.
But I think that now that his mind has been opened, Steph, you're right. He's definitely looking for a relationship with a Chelsea.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like the girl he gets in a relationship with will definitely ask him initially on like Hinge or whatever, like what time were you born? What's your sign? You know, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be into it.
And he's
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Oh, I know the answers to these questions." Yeah.
And I know why you're asking them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he might, I don't know. I want to say like he might become friends with his sister in a weird way because like she's come down to earth a little bit from like her spiritual high, but she's still gonna like be growing, I think, a little bit. And then like he's growing a little bit. So I think they might become friends.
Or do
Yeah.
you think they'll like kind of pass each other kind of on their way up and on their way down and like she'll end
Yeah.
up with a Saxon
I
and
think she
he'll
might
end up with a
like
Chelsea?
I
Yeah,
think
because
she's
this is
gonna
what
end
she
up marrying. I
knows.
think she
Yeah.
might end up marrying a Saxon type. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's her next step, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be more like her mom than she wants to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
comes
think
it.
we've almost wrapped this up. Is there anything else from the finale that we have to talk about our theories for where Belinda ends up. Like, what do we
Yeah.
think? She's taking her $5 million and she's doing what?
I think a spa. I mean, maybe a spa. I think she's gonna have some fun first, though. Clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, I worry for her because I think she deserves to have a little fun. But I'm afraid that her like I think her son is on a good track, but I'm afraid that like he's gonna mess up and then she'll have to bail him out financially.
Maybe.
And then 5 million won't go as far as she thinks. So
That
she
would
might end
suck.
up back at a White Lotus,
That's
you
sad.
know?
I think she's gonna
Or
I think the other option is she does a year of her own fun thing, and then she goes back to Thailand, gets back with Pornchai. Pornchai might have married someone else, but
I felt so bad for him.
maybe they still open a spa together. I don't know.
That's
I was
the
also
hope.
Yeah. Well, she also might become like a specialist in something,
Mm.
Do you think?
like a really good facialist, and then goes to teach at a White Lotus, which is when we see her again.
Well, she was a healer type, right? She was a masseuse and healer.
Yeah, she
Tanya's.
did.
Yeah,
that,
but now
like,
she has
head massage thing.
$5 million. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then what was I gonna say? Oh, I think the only other option is she becomes one of the rich people that we see at hotels. That's another option.
I really hope that like
Um,
we do see her again in the next season.
Yeah.
yeah, she's great.
Yeah. And Zion
Yeah,
was
I
very
hope we
cute.
see her again.
Yeah, and her
I
son because he's
know.
real cute.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, we get him like a little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end.
I was
Like,
really impressed with it. I didn't know like what to expect, and then like in that scene with
Yeah.
FKA Greg, he
Yeah.
like really like he was energetic and he had like a completely different energy and it was like
Yeah.
kind of douchey and kind of
Yeah.
financy and I was like kind of into it.
I know. It was kind of
yeah,
like he kind of went on like this. It was like he was almost cosplaying as a rich douchey guy, but then when she started doing it too, it worked. It was like, oh, they're gonna land this, you know. And so it was
yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
they started vibing, and yeah,
Yeah.
he did a great
Yeah, he
job.
asked for 5 mil. She was just gonna take the 100K or whatever, or million.
But
Yeah.
they had exactly the kind of like non-verbal
Hmm.
communication that Rick and Sam Rockwell did not have when they went to go
That was
con
so funny.
Sutala.
Oh my God. And like Sam
Nobody
Rockwell
was
was like was like watching the like variety show with her, and that was so funny. He's like, that's you? Like
Oh my
I know. I
God.
was laughing so hard. Pratik wasn't laughing. I was like, this
this
is
is so
hilarious.
funny. I love Sam Rockwell. He's so funny.
They were just like not able to yes and at all. Like
No.
the worst ever
No. And they're like apparently
improvisation.
have done this before. They're like, oh yeah, some role play, like as though they've done it before.
No, it did not seem like they had done it
No,
before or in
no.
fact had any conversation about like if you're going into this like relatively fraught, possibly
Yeah,
dangerous
yeah.
situation,
You
like
didn't
you
even
want
talk about
to
it. It wasn't like you've seen the movies, you've done this. Like he was,
you have to
yeah,
at least Google the titles.
yeah. I know that was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I know, and he
It
like,
was so good.
and he put on like that stupid hat and like bomber jacket to be a director.
Put the jacket on.
That was like the best
Oh
scene,
my
I
God.
think, when like he was sitting, they were all sitting there,
So
and
good.
then
And
there's
she's like, what movie? What role?
yeah, she's like, you were royalty, and she's like, oh yes. And then yeah, he was saying like, yeah, this is about a bordello, and you're the madam, and she was like, well, I heard you wanted to make this about me because the like, character is so similar to me. Am I a madam and a prostitute? And
That was quick thinking on Rick's part. Though.
yes,
He was like, well,
yes,
because she sings.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
Very
like that
quick
was
thinking.
so funny, and yeah, like that watching her on the variety show just really got me. Where he was
Oh
like,
my
what was
God.
all the comments he was making? I love Sam Rockwell; he's so funny, and
He's so
he
funny.
and Leslie Bibb have been together for like 20 years. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
so cute.
They're amazing. I love
yeah,
watching them on red carpets because she's so tall and
yeah,
like
and
it's
no
just
one
really
cares.
lovely.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, yeah,
Did I tell
yeah.
you that I met him once? I was
No,
an extra once in a movie that he was making in New York
oh
and like
cool.
it was very cool. It was like not a good movie, but it was a very fun day.
What was the movie? Don't mind me asking.
I don't remember the name of it. It was about basketball. He was like the coach of a girls' basketball team. Emma Roberts
Mm,
was the girl basketball player, and he was the coach. And there was
okay.
like a scene with a bunch of extras at like a basketball game that
Poor
my
Emma
friends and I went to
Roberts.
go be in.
She all of her movies are terrible somehow. Emma Roberts. The only good thing she's done is Scream Queens, but
No,
that's
she
a
was in
side.
that season of American Horror Story. That was really
Oh,
good.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, she was
yeah,
good in that.
yeah. But I feel like she and like Kate Hudson. I think the show with Kate Hudson that's out now is supposed to be good. I haven't watched it, but I feel like they're the types that like for some reason every movie they pick, except for like one or two, like there's 10 things I hate about not 10. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. There's a couple of
Brilliant.
exceptions, yes, but like in
Yeah.
general, like the movies they pick, you're like, what? Like I don't
I
know.
don't, I honestly, I cannot think of an Emma Roberts movie title except for she was in Scream, right? One of the Screams.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
She was in a couple of like holiday-y movies
Yeah,
that
she was in The
I've
Holiday.
Oh,
seen.
The
She was in,
Holiday. She
and then
was in The
Yes,
there's
Holiday.
and then
the
there's that one
holiday.
where like she is engaged, but her parents are having affairs. Like her parents and her fiance's parents are like having affairs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and it wasn't good.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That one was pretty recent. I didn't see
yeah.
it. It
I heard
looked
it
like it
was
had
bad, but
potential. Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
heard it
Yeah.
was a play, and so I think the play was good, but I heard that the movie was not good. But I couldn't. I
Oh,
don't
I
ever see
I
it.
love when
didn't
movies
watch
are made
it.
from
Yeah,
plays.
me too. And she, yeah, I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I think we're. Anything else on the White Lotus?
Okay, so where do we think we're going next season?
Oh, I've been thinking about that all day. Japan?
Japan? That's I heard that they wanted to shoot this season in Japan, but that
Oh, really?
the money didn't work out and it was like Thailand was cheaper
I
or
can
had better
imagine.
film and TV tax credits,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I,
New Zealand or South America?
maybe.
Sorry, I'm just like covering all the continents. I don't mean to.
No, I could see that, or
I
maybe
did
like
hear Mike White
Morocco.
say, yeah, that he was looking at it not being a beach adjacent
Mm,
property, that it would be like Morocco would be really cool.
yeah,
Morocco would be good and
yeah,
believable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or like the mountains somewhere, like
Yeah, like in the Alps or something.
the
Ooh.
Alps, like
Let's take
cold
it to the
skiing.
winter. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh my God, I would
Cozy
love that.
vibes.
Somebody in
that'd
A
be
like
fun.
chalet.
yeah, like up in the Alps, like we're in San Moritz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody falls. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to die in the mountains.
So many
So,
ways to die. In a crevasse, perhaps.
An avalanche. An avalanche.
Avalanche, just of
Just freezing to
exposure.
death. Yeah, just freezing to death. Normal freezing to death. Yeah.
Just a real White Lotus, Yellow Jackets crossover situation.
yeah.
Before we go, I feel like we have to do best dressed, worst dressed of this season of the White Lotus. Do you guys have like
Yes.
Okay.
a number one favorite outfit and then like a least favorite outfit?
I really didn't like Piper's initial dress. I already said that. That stuck out to me as not good. I liked Leslie Bibb, Kate's little like flower bathing suit with little like sheer flower overshirt. Little
Yes,
short
I
sleeve thing. That was
loved
so cute.
that.
I
That
loved
was
that.
really
Yeah.
cute. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. What about you
Nothing
guys?
is like really standing out. I don't know. Rachel,
I'm trying.
you
I
go. I'm
have
thinking.
I put the W magazine list of everybody's
Oh.
outfits. I put that in the document if you want to look
Oh,
at it.
yeah.
I was gonna look up what that swimsuit was because you're right. I loved that swimsuit. I think my favorite outfit was probably Chloe in the swimsuit that she was wearing on the yacht. The like
Oh, yes.
the
Yeah.
pink one with the like skirt.
Yes, that was so cute. Yeah.
I think that was my
Yeah.
favorite outfit of the whole show. And then I think my least favorite was probably any time that anybody was wearing a caftan.
Yeah, that's all I
yeah.
can think about right now is the caftan.
I
Yeah.
mean, they were good caftans. They were like very nice, expensive caftans on everybody.
Yeah.
Also, like obviously the Gucci bamboo bag that Victoria
I
had.
think
that
that's
is
probably my
iconic.
favorite moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely iconic.
Yeah,
What else was
let me
good?
see.
I felt like Piper's final outfit was really good though.
Yes,
The like
that
the
was cute.
blue two-piece, like
Yeah.
the top and the skirt.
I agree. Yeah, I really liked that.
I love all the ladies' pajamas, all the three ladies' pajamas.
Oh, absolutely.
Those were a great moment.
And
And
all of Jacqueline's swimsuits and all of Chloe's swimsuits actually were
yeah,
like very, very good.
Yeah. I
yeah,
agree. I thought Chloe is generally really well dressed. Yeah. But
yeah. And
There's a lot of David Webb jewelry too that was really, really
I missed
wonderful.
that. I have to look up the
I'm
jewelry.
scrolling.
The
Yeah.
jewelry and the watches, definitely a big deal. Yeah, so like this caftan that Belinda was wearing,
Oh,
it's like literally it's hand beaded. It
the pink
retails for
one? Yeah.
$1,200. Like if I was gonna wear a
No.
caftan, this would be the caftan I would wear.
Yeah.
The pink
But
with the green.
yeah, I remember that. I'm like, there's no way she could afford that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. the Gucci bag, definitely.
I was not a huge
And
fan of Chloe's other party outfit, the Versace dress. The like
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that either.
it kind of
Yeah.
had like a cigarette girl vibe to it.
I didn't like that.
It was not my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. I agree.
I
I
also
didn't
hate
like
all the caftans.
it. Yeah.
We
Like,
hate a
really.
caftan.
I do. I do. I can't help it. They're always going to be too long on me too, which
Yeah.
is so
Yeah,
annoying.
no, they don't
Yeah.
look really. I mean, they look quite nice on Belinda because she has the brightly colored ones, and like I
Yeah.
think that just looks like happy and comfy because they're
Yeah,
like,
hers are probably the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure they're comfortable in this climate, right?
For sure.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, you're
Actually,
right. I'm looking
oddly
at that
enough,
initial Piper dress, and it does look. It looks like something that like you would have, like one of those like Amish dolls that like it
Mhm.
looks like the dress that would come on one of those like handmade Amish dolls.
Yeah, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
great, yeah. I didn't love it. Yeah. I
I do
did
think
love
though that like Chelsea and like maybe this was on purpose, but like Chelsea was kind of the worst dressed person on this
yeah,
show.
yeah. I think she was
Yeah.
supposed to be a little chaotic. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, like these
Okay.
clothes are very expensive, but she still managed to give kind of like, trash.
yeah, she definitely had like
Yeah.
a real like British like what's the word? Not chav, but like something kind of
Kind of.
vibe.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Chavage, but like
Yeah.
not London. Like she definitely seemed like she was from like Liverpool or something.
Yeah, I think she said she's from
Yeah.
Manchester, right? That's what
Oh,
she said.
yes. That
Yeah.
definitely tracks. She definitely was not wearing, well, maybe the humidity was like part of the problem, but like I've never seen a person from Manchester that wasn't wearing just like a full beat of makeup all the time.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah. I was surprised about that. Like not very that's the only reason I didn't say chav because like she's not very chavvy makeup. So
no. And if she was
Okay.
from Manchester, she would be wearing lashes, even if it
Yes,
was
yeah.
110 degrees and 100% humidity in Thailand.
Yeah, and she's way more like hippie than that. So
Yeah. The swimsuit is Juliet. It's
I'm looking at it right now. It's
honestly
sold
like
out.
I love it. I think it would look great on me. I feel like I'm gonna have to get on the wait list.
You
get
can
it.
get on the
Get
wait
it.
list, pre-order late June.
Perfect.
Love it. You have it
Late
for 2
June is
months.
like the perfect time for it to finally, hopefully, be warm in New York.
Perfect.
Yeah. I want this.
What?
The Juliet bathing suit.
Yeah, and the sheer top is so cute.
It's so cute. And I love that like all of these patterns like kind of just almost go together.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I love that too. That's
It's perfect.
kind of like my jam is like weird patterns that like are almost perfect but like don't quite work and I like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Question. Has anyone watched that new Nicole Kidman movie on Amazon? It's called Holland, I
no,
think.
but I heard
No.
And I feel like it looks good, but I wanna watch it. I wonder if it would be worth talking about.
We
Yeah.
could. Nicole Kidman is the busiest woman in Hollywood. I
know. I
can't
don't know
believe
I don't
how
know
much
she
work
does
this
it.
woman is
Yeah,
doing.
I know.
Seriously, I wondered that too. I'm like, I think her kids went to college and she's like, okay, and like just started doing stuff.
She
But,
has
yeah.
other stuff going on. She has a husband and she has a
I know.
ranch. Like there
I
are
know.
things in her life, but
Maybe she's just trying to like get a real nest egg and then just stop. But
Maybe
you don't think she's rich enough?
well, maybe she doesn't think she's rich enough. I don't know. I think she's rich enough. But all right, I think I gotta jump, guys, just to make
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
I'm stressing.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
thank you for joining
Um,
us.
I thought you were talking to
And
me. I'm like, why are you thanking me?
Thank you for joining us,
Thank you,
Gretchen.
Sofalites,
Thank you for
joining
being
us.
here.
Yeah. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you, Sofalites. Let us
Yeah.
know what you thought of season 3 of The White Lotus.
Yeah. But,
And where
it-
you think White Lotus is going next.
Yeah, and where you think the rat lips are right now. So, I'd love to hear. But, all right, bye.
We'll
right.
see you next time.
Bye.